5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you can see, the ticker running down that India quashed England by an innings and 25 runs in the fourth test being played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. And now India has not only won the series but also confirmed its place in the World Test Championship, which will be played between June 18 and June 22 at the mecca of cricket at Lord's in England against New Zealand. So there, India will have a chance to actually take their revenge from New Zealand of the World Cup semi-final, where India actually went through an agonizing loss. So now let's straight away dive into the discussion as I have my guest with us. Mr. Monty Panesar, former English spinner, and Mr. Varun Kumar, former DDC player and BCCI match referee, joining us. Sat Sri Akal, Paji, welcome, VK. Starting with Paji, as you were mentioning yesterday, that if England will not apply their skills, the match will again get over within 3 days, and it happened the same.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think, first of all, it was a question mark over the pitch, but I think England just, they got to put their hand up and say, look, they don't have the skill level to, meet, the standards that are required on a turning pitch. And unfortunately, India just, far too strong for England at the moment.
Yeah. VK, if we take a look, as Paji mentioned about the pitch, so now if England are to blame the pitch, so in the morning, what we saw, Washington Sundar getting there in, and ultimately he remained unbeaten at 96. So he was playing very, very comfortably when Ashwin Patel got run out at 43. So the pitch was good, but it was that the skill set which we were all discussing yesterday, that England need to figure out something how to bat on this track. And even Dan Lawrence and Ben Foakes displayed some grit out there when they came on to bat lower order in the lower order.
Yeah, first of all, I will really take on this thing that it was a very disappointing performance from the English side, and because the way they batted in this last inning was never expected. I mean, although Monty Paji yesterday said that if there is a lead of 150 plus, there are chances that there might be have an inning defeat result, and that really happened today itself. But I was expecting to some positive things will come out from the English batting side, as they're playing for the country, and they should show some character. But unfortunately, it was we can say that a lot of players were not able to handle that spin action, and really disappointed the way Johnny Bairstow went out of the very first ball, because he's an experienced player. He's been playing IPL in India, and he knows the conditions. But still, and because Bairstow, Stokes, and Root were the main pillar of this batting lineup for England team, but unfortunately, no one was there to hung up, and everyone was looking like to depart very early, and there was no character shown by any player. It was just Lawrence was there, he played well, but those numbers are good enough to just to for an individual performance, but nothing for the team cause. And if we look into the series, like after the first test match, first inning, where England posted a big total 500 plus runs, but after that I think they never were able to pass 200 plus run apart from the first inning of this test match. So this shows that their batting was really struggling against the spin of Ashwin and Akshar Patel. And yes, it's all about the skills, and lot of English batsmen were playing for the first time over here, and maybe that is the reason. This kind of pitches, this kind of spin bowling they're facing for the first time, and probably they're going to have a lot of learning from here. And we hope that they will work on their skills, and all the way. I congratulate to Indian team the way they played whole of this series, the way they came back, and uh, I just. But overall, I somewhere as a cricketer, I feel that the way England went today, it was really disappointed. That disappointment is there because I really wanted that they must come up with some strong performances, but it
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah. Paji, talking about Ashwin, who in the process took his 30th five-wicket haul, and he's now turning out to be a modern legend, modern spinning legend who is growing day by day, learning day by day. So, your thoughts on Ravi Ashwin and how he's improved right there from Australia to here in Ahmedabad?
Yeah, look, I think Ashwin's been brilliant. He sort of understands how to bowl, obviously on Indian pitches, which he should do. He's been, been so prolific in India, but I think it's the way he sort of bowls. It's the style of like where he just gets the ball to kiss the deck, which allows then the ball to kind of spin and bite, and then it creates that variation where then he changes his trajectory and seam position, and you kind of think that it's actually just hit the seam and it's turning, or it's hit the leather. But I think he, with intention, tries to bowl the ball slightly, changes the degree of turn, makes it not turn as much, and then he wants at will when he wants to get it to turn big, he does that. So, in my opinion, I think that has been the biggest thing about Ashwin, which the difference between Ashwin and the other spinners is that they allow the natural variation of the pitch to create the bounce and the turn. But Ashwin, I think, deliberately does that. And there's times where, there's good natural variation. But I think there's a deliberate attempt to do that. And that's what gets him apart. And the way he then sets the batsman up. You can see some batsmen come out to bat with the intent to good feet position, and he's able to adapt that. So what he does, he changes the trajectory, bowls a bit flatter, slightly shorter, gets the batsman to play off the back foot. Then he will just bowl it with the slightly same pace ball, but with a better loop on it, a bit more dip, a bit more fizz. Changes the spin, the position of the ball, so it gets the batsman to come forward, but it dips on them, and then suddenly he gets that. That's the big turning ball. So you never, you can't get comfortable with Ashwin's style of bowling because there's each ball is kind of different, and he's always getting the batsman, he sets the batsman up, and that I think the likes of Jack Leach and Don Best, when they sit down and review this test series, they've got to think it's not all about your action. It's not about, today this is how I feel, this is how the field set should be. Sometimes it's maybe have the conversation, right? How am I going to get him out? Right? Change the conversation in your mind. Right, how do I set him up to get him out? I know, this is like Jack Leach, has done well. He's taken wickets, but I haven't really seen him change positions in the crease. I haven't really, he's just relying on natural variation of the pitch, which, he's going to get wickets, but you're not going to get England in a match-winning position.
Yeah. And Ankit is saying that you were the one of the best English spinners. So not only Ankit, many of the English supporters are also today remembering or reminiscing the duo of Monty Panesar and the Graham Swan because the duo was the protagonist when England won the series here in India back in 2012. But Paji, talking about Jack Leach, who was the highest wicket taker for England in the series, but obviously was a bit more expensive, and as you mentioned that he could not pitch right there all the 6 balls at a particular area. So the basic difference between Ravi Ashwin or Akshar Patel and Jack Leach was, do you think, the consistency, or was it the approach, or was it that Jack Leach didn't had that many variations which Ashwin had?
Yeah, look, I think it's to do with his mindset. Psychologically, he thinks that I am, taught by the coaches to bowl the same ball over again. How often can I bowl my best ball, and how long can I keep bowling that ball? So imagine if Ashwin did that, kept on bowling his big, lovely dropping balls that turn and bounce. you, as a batsman, you will adjust. You'll get better at it the more you spend time at the crease. So then eventually the Indian batters, get adjusted to that. Then the other issue is his consistency. He's not able to bowl consistently. And then that releases the pressure. So the Indian batters know. They're like, well, he's the only way he's going to get us out is natural variation of the pitch. He's not going to set us up to get us out. He just doesn't think like that. And then that limits, I think, Jack Leach's options, to take wickets. And I think he should look at himself and think, look, I'm going to take wickets anyway on a turning pitch. That's a given. But can I produce a spell that can put England in a match-winning position? 84 for 4 in the first innings. That was Jack Leach's moment. It's not Jimmy Anderson's moment. Jimmy Anderson shouldn't be bailing England out time and after. He's been obviously, if he's able to be successful on subcontinent pitches and on green pitches in England, then, what does that say about the other cricketers in our team? It just shows that that's how great Jimmy Anderson is. And that's what they should do. They should sit down with Jimmy and say, look, how do you do it? How do you become successful in all conditions? What is it? What is your mindset? How do you approach? How do you tactically put a game plan together? How can you help us to get better? And I think that's probably, a good way of asking Jimmy Anderson, he knows how to be successful in all conditions. Why can't the England batters? They've got a player in that team who knows how to be successful. It's just applying the same sort of mindset that he has, how he assesses, how he strategically puts a game plan together. Maybe that could help the young batters to put something together.
Yeah. VK, 10th successive series win at home for Virat Kohli equaled Ricky Ponting's record. But this one, again, a different one because India were 1-0 down when they came into the second test at Chepauk, and winning from there, especially when England had their practice at Sri Lanka, whitewashing Sri Lanka. So again, a special series win, and the spirit has been inculcated right from Australia when they were 1-0 down after that embarrassment at Adelaide, and after that they processed further. So now one other superstar of the series is Rishabh Pant, who has been performing right from Australia. Not only his batting, we talked a lot about his batting, and everyone know how his batting skills are and how dangerous he can be once he gets set. But what we saw was an immense improvement in his glove work. So your comments on Rishabh Pant's keeping this series?
Definitely.
Yeah, look, I think
no, please carry on.
No, you go.
So, if I take on this, I always say that yes, confidence is the key for any player. And right now, the amount of performance Rishabh is delivering right now, and his performance is really valuing in a team victory also. So that is really making his confidence high, and that is we see that performance in his keeping also, that is also improving. Yeah. And the amount of cricket he will play, if he play regularly, definitely he will keep on improving. He knows, because person knows himself that where he's going wrong or what kind of things he need to improve, where he's lacking. So he knows his cricket. He knows that, okay, I did that mistake in that particular game. I need to work on that particular area. And so I'm sure he's doing in that manner. And we can see that in last two games in Ahmedabad, where the ball was turning so much, but he kept really well. And when I always believe when the team is winning, when you are scoring runs, then everything looks great and everything will be coming in your way. And same thing happening with Rishabh Pant. And this is his phase, and this is his moments right now, which he's grabbing from both hands, and he's doing really well. And yes, we can now we can say that he is improving a lot, and that I will always say that the confidence is the key, and he's really high on confidence.
Yeah, Paji.
Yeah, look, I think the introduction of Ben Foakes, watching him keep and seeing, wow, this guy's he looks one of the best keepers. Look at the way he's catching it. Then Rishabh Pant is in that kind of mindset, in that frame of mind, which shows that I want to improve as a cricketer. I want to improve my keeping, and I think that helped him. by watching Ben Foakes. So he was like, well, I want to show that I can keep well. And I think that's helped him. So, look, it's great to see Rishabh Pant, right? He's in a great headspace. He's in a great place in his mind, where he wants to, what kind of cricketer he wants to become. I hope he now maintains that, because I remember IPL UAE, he was like, wow, Rishabh Pant has really been, rather than taking it serious, his fitness seriously. I hope now, in the next, when the IPL starts or these T20 starts, he keeps working hard on his fitness, keeps that mindset going. It's not like, rocket science. It's just getting yourself into a place where your daily habits are in a place of improving you in a cricketer. And that's what Rishabh Pant is doing, he's in that frame of mind. I think Ben Foakes has helped him. Game situations, he likes to be in a situation where he can get India out of a tough place and then, produce a match-winning innings. It's not going to happen every time. There's going to be times where, he may just have to, much more challenging, where he may not have to score as many runs, but it's about occupying the crease. But I think it's that frame of mind of saying, I want to improve as a cricketer. He could potentially be good as Gilchrist, and that's what he should aim himself. He should think to himself, right, I want to be like the next Gilchrist, and I'm going to do everything I can to make myself into that type of cricketer.
Yeah, miles to go for Rishabh Pant in his journey. Now, another two superstars in the form of Akshar Patel, who grabbed his debut opportunity really well, and Sundar just capitalizing on his form from Australia. So there's a question from one of our viewers, Ankit Shukla. He's asking that, how do you choose between Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar Patel and Washington Sundar Paji when all are fit? So a good headache for the selectors.
Well, it depends on the conditions. It depends on where we're playing. If it's in India, I think, you'll go with Akshar Patel and Ashwin and Sundar. Jadeja will probably come back and be fit, but at the moment, you've got to give the guys who have won you the Test series first choice. That has to be happen in India. But then out of India, I think we've seen Jadeja bowl well. He's bowled well in Australia. He's able to take wickets on surfaces that don't respond well, and I think that's another key skill he has. So I think that question, if you asked me, Monty, what would you say about Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Sundar in England when the Test series starts in August? Who would you pick between them? I would probably say Ashwin 100%, and that second spinner may even be Washington Sundar. Like Akshar Patel, I think is a good bowler on helpful surfaces. You would say, ask yourself the question: do I want my spinner to bat well and bowl a little bit, or do I want a second spinner? And that really depends on the conditions. First Test match, who knows, in August, and it can be helpful conditions. It's an interesting one. It's so many permutations you have. I think this India team can adapt to that. That's been their strength, and that's something that comes from Ravi Shastri. He's a motivator. He's like, if you've had a bad day, please go to sleep, switch on the light. Tomorrow, when you switch it on, you turn it around. That's it. You turn it around in a space of 12 hours. And that's the type of cricketers he is producing. And he's been brilliant. He's a sensation coach. What an awesome motivator. I just hope, that India team, take a perspective on this. It's not the same as Australia. Australia win was unbelievable performances. Here, India have done well because England are not great players of spin bowling. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
It's not on the same wavelength. Yeah. So I hope these Indian cricketers realize that and think, okay, we won the Test series, but we only won the Test series and it's been a comprehensive win because England weren't great players of spin.
Yeah. VK, coming to Akshar Patel, the way he grabbed his opportunity, he was waiting in the ranks for quite a time now, and when Jadeja unfortunately got injured. So Akshar, I'm not comparing Akshar and Jadeja, but Akshar contributes in all the three disciplines, be it fielding, bowling, and batting as well. Today also, the way he actually supported Washington Sundar. Unfortunately, that he got run out, and Washi could not get to his much deserved century, I would say. So, Akshar Patel and Washington Sundar, your comments on Akshar and Washington Sundar, as they contributed a lot in this win, and Washington Sundar cementing his place as an all-rounder, the kind of batting which he's been doing since Australian tour.
See, I mean, definitely the way they perform is incredible, and the way Akshar bowled throughout the Test series and in all 3 Test matches he played, and he looking so superior because he has taken so many wickets in these 3 Test matches, and somewhere, obviously, we are not taking any credit from Akshar Patel, but as Monty Paji reflected that England didn't bat it so well, and somewhere it was, you can say, Akshar work got little easy of picking wickets against England batting side, and the credit goes to Akshar because he was bowling at one particular spot. From that particular spot, he was turning the ball. From that one particular spot, the ball was coming in, which England batsmen were facing a lot of trouble, and they could not able to handle that trick of Akshar Patel. And somewhere I believe that Akshar really grabbed this opportunity of playing this Test match, this series, and he performed so well. And on Washington, he did in Australia also, that in that tricky situation he had a partnership with Shardul Thakur, and he played a superb inning at Brisbane, and that confidence, he carry on with that confidence. And again, over here in this series, he played some good knocks. He played 80 odd runs in Chennai Test, then 96 not out over here. And whenever he got a chance to roll his arm, he got a couple of wickets in this series. So yes, and he looks really good as a batsman. Washington Sundar is definitely going to be a future for Indian cricket team, and probably in all 3 formats. And the way they both played in this series, Akshar and Washington Sundar, they really must be feeling very proud of themselves, because you can, as I remember the Gavaskar was mentioning while Rishabh Pant was batting, that you cannot make 100 every game. So similarly, you cannot perform every time, and this is the phase when they are performing, and so they performed from the both hands. They're grabbing the opportunities from both hands, and that is the best part about both of them. And really, really great moment for them, and it is like probably the proudest moment for them, and really happy for them the way they performed in this series.
Paji, there's one question on Virat. Virat probably got a couple of times out of Ben Stokes, one which kept low when he was batting on 70 odd runs, and one in this Test which absolutely was a Jaffa. He was bounced a lot from the wicket. So Ankit Shukla is asking that is Virat out of form, or the balls were just brilliant on which he got out?
Yeah, look, I think Virat's probably just facing some good deliveries, but then all great batsmen get great deliveries. But I think, to be honest, he's handled the captaincy well, knowing that there's a lot of players out there, when they're out of form, they don't do well, they just keep getting out. And, that may be the case, and, sometimes all players go through it. The great Ricky Ponting went through that phase, but he was able to still not let his, out of form or, his batting problems come into his captaincy. So that's something that's a new skill he's going to have to probably develop, because, when you're captaining, there's times, there's pressures, you can't keep always performing well with the bat and captain India and win. There'll be times where he just have to bite the bullet and say, look, he's played a lot of cricket, and people, are beginning to work out how he gets out, what he does. And there'll be times, he may not be able to score runs, and he has to curb that emotion in for the team to win. He will probably learn this new skill now of, right, I can still, I'm still a great captain, even though when I'm not scoring runs, and I'm able to get India to, win games. So that's the important thing, you know. Like I've seen fans in India, spoken to lots of them, and I say, what's the most important thing about Indian cricket? And they say, not Virat Kohli scoring runs, India winning. That's all they care about. And they don't care who scores the runs, who gets the wicket. There's over 1 billion people, and they just want to see India win.
Paji, also from England's perspective, we out here also were discussing about Bairstow's inclusion as a better player of spin. But what we saw today, it was the third duck in the 4 innings which he faced. So England will be disappointed with their senior players like Bairstow not performing because then all the load of batting comes down to Joe Root and Ben Stokes. Do you think that this was also one of the aspects why England lost?
Well, look, I think the senior batters, you know, every team has a couple of, you know, let's say senior batters that they rely on, and that was Ben Stokes, Johnny Bairstow, and Joe Root. So when Joe Root's not doing great, you know, Johnny Bairstow needs to step up. But I don't think he's a senior batter in this team. You know, I said start of the Test match he shouldn't play. You know, and you know Dan Lawrence, you know, obviously played. We had, you know, Ollie Pope in the team, but I went for Rory Burns, and the reason I did is because, you know, Rory Burns is a traditional, you know, opening batsman. All he needs to do is get the angle of his blade right. Ball's on off stump and the ball spinning away against Ashwin. Don't just fall over, just correct that. Give him another chance. But Johnny Bairstow, he's fighting within himself. You can see that. He's going out there to compete against India, but he's having a conversation within himself to think, right, come on, I'm going to take you guys on a turning wicket. I'm going to play the biggest shot. And he plays a sweep shot, let's say first ball against Akshar Patel, and then obviously gets out. This time round, you know, he's a bit tentative now. You know, he's not being himself. So there's two types of Johnny Bairstow you're seeing. He needs to stick to that, you know, one style, one approach. You know, and we see a tentative side. First ball, tentative movement, gets caught, leg slip. Like he didn't have the presence of mind as a leg slip there, you know. And it's all comes down to your mindset. And I think this team, when they're helping these players, it's more of a psychological mindset. What is your mindset when you're going out to bat against these guys? What is your game plan? You know, how are you feeling emotionally? The thought process. And I don't know if they're having these kind of conversations from the coaches that are in the England camp, but I think that is where they're losing this game. It's not to do with their skill, or everyone's talking about, oh yeah, we can't play. No, I think it's to do with their mindset. Mentally, how do they feel when the crowd erupts and that ball is turning and bouncing, and you play a few of them balls? Suddenly, what happens in your mindset? Why do you play a rash shot? And that is what needs to be addressed by the England coaches.
Yeah. So Akshar and Ashwin was so much into the psyche of English batters, as Paji mentioned, that that actually provoked the batters to play wrong shots. But VK, among all the batters, there was one who looked extraordinary and looked different from every other, and that was Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma definitely one of the best batsmen for India, or rather best batter of the series between India and England. So your comments on Rohit Sharma, because he not only provided the base for India, he also played some long innings which actually helped India winning that second test at Chepauk. And now yesterday also we were talking about his 49, which actually laid the base for Pant coming in and firing.
Definitely. I mean, the way Rohit batted in this test series, it was he played a very crucial role in Indian victory, and especially in the second test match, that 160 odd runs really changed the course of the match and probably changed the course of the series. From there, India got a momentum and they never looked back. And even in today post match presentation, Virat mentioned his knock of 49 run, like probably one of the best knock we can have, because it's not about the numbers, but it's about the quality of cricket he played. in that particular knock, and that that knock of 49 really gave a chance to Indian team to make a runs, and that crucial partnership with Rishabh Pant in between, although he departed earlier with in that partnership, but he laid that base in that inning, and he played a crucial role, and he looked really rock solid. And even in Australia, we noticed that he was getting a starts. He was making 30s, 40s, but he was not able to capitalize into big knock. But here he was able to make big runs, and that really helped Indian team to win the series. And his role is very crucial. Everyone is talking about Washington Sundar, Rishabh Pant, but yes, what Rohit did is remarkably extraordinary for Indian victory in this series, and he played really well.
Paji, it was the semi-final, if you say, of the World Test Championship, because it was the decider that who will actually meet New Zealand in the final. So, do you think that an enthralling final between June 18 and June 22 awaits us? And India, New Zealand, a spicy one, a poetic, a romantic, because New Zealand last defeated India in an ICC event, and that was the semi-final where India suffered an agonizing loss. That run out is still very much clear in the memories of Indian fans. So, do you think a very solid and a very riveting final awaits us?
Yeah, well, I think the ICC will probably, try and have a neutral pitch, which will allow the Test match to last as long as possible, because it's a first World Championship, and the best advertisement for the game of Test cricket is to see the Test match going into the 4th and the 5th day. Now, whoever wins, that obviously would be the team that plays a better cricket. But for the integrity of the game and what Test cricket is about, we have World Test Championship. We need to, as let's say, cricket ambassadors, we need the game to be promoted in the right way when it comes to the World Championship. There is no home advantage. It's all about getting the Test match to play in the 4th and the 5th day. The last thing we need is a 3.5-day Test match, low scores, and that's over. That won't be great for Test cricket. We want to see a 5-day Test match, and the best team win.
Yeah. But Paji, do you think that the wicket which was provided in this game, don't you think that it was a balanced wicket assisting both the spinners and the fast bowlers? But it was the English team which actually disappointed with its batting skills.
Look, we know that England's batting skills aren't as great, but this pitch, I think even the BCCI and the pitch creator, they went out of their way to produce extra grass on the wicket, because they said, right, we are the biggest board. It's our responsibility to produce a wicket that at least meets better standards than the last Test match. So there should be no question marks on the pitch. But going forward, look, unfortunately, this England team, they're just not well equipped on these turning pitches like India are. Now, this is something for India to consider. Now, if India know that another team comes into India playing a Test match series, and they may not be great against spin, will they want to win in 3 days, or will they want to say, guys, come on, why don't we start producing flatter pitches for these teams who are not great against spin? And it's our duty, it's our care of duty, and it's our responsibility that we actually start advertising Test cricket, by getting games going into the 4th and the 5th day. Now, that would be something great to see, Indian cricket to do.
Yeah, but Paji, when actually Indian team is being served with green tops, then if anyone talks about a stable or a universal pitch conditions being laid by ICC, then it must be for any part of the world. Even if we go to England, then if we are served with green tops, then Paji, this is actually the home advantage, don't you think? That if we are served with the green tops, then we can
I think India should be taken a step further. They should be saying, right, if all you nations want to do home advantage and produce green decks, and the likes of England, Australia, New Zealand are saying, well, to be honest, we are all promoting the game of Test cricket, and we want game to go into the 4th and the 5th day, and then games finishes, not so long then. India should hold the moral ground and say, guys, our value as being the strongest Test nation in India, we are going to change the mindset and we are going to produce 5-day Test cricket. And that will, because India are that good. India, I can't see any team beat India on a flat pitch in India. That's how good they are. They don't even need to produce turning pitches, and they'll still beat a lot of teams around the world.
Yeah. Arjun Verma, one of our viewers, he has a question that Test cricket is now more exciting with results almost certain in every game now. Is it because the batters are in a fast-paced mindset to get quick runs and play more shots? So, do you think that there is so much of influence of T20 cricket in Test cricket now?
Well, if you're an IPL player and you're from India, yes. I don't see any other nation do that. We didn't see Australia have the boldness to pick a big bash player who's done okay and thought, guys, get him in the team. He's an exciting player. Let's be bold about it. And India are playing a type of brand of cricket that actually world cricket just wants to tune in. And that's what it is. From a neutral fan who doesn't know much about cricket, they'll be watching the FA Premier, NBA. Okay, let's watch the NFL. When India, I want to watch Indian cricket because they play a brand of cricket where their viewingship must be through the roof, the way India play. And that's what that's what India have done to cricket. But not they've done to cricket, it's what India are doing, creating themselves, their brand, their style of cricket, Now I ask myself the question, which other Test nations would I want to watch and play? None. No one is actually playing like India are playing, India had 20 players in Australia, right? And they had a B team. And look at the Test match cricket they played in at the Gabba, at Sydney, and the toughness they showed. Pujara playing fast bowling and he's loving it. The faster it is, he more wants to be out there, That this is the brand of cricket India are playing, which I don't see any other nation do that, apart from Jimmy Anderson. If you want to pull out individual players, there's one player I would love to watch day in, day out. Doesn't matter any condition. Jimmy Anderson, brilliant skill bowler. And I think Jimmy, if you want to say India, it was India versus Jimmy Anderson in this Test series. That's all it was. Once Jimmy Anderson finished his bowling, it was one England player against 11 Indian players. That's what this Test series was. And apart from that, I'm sorry, but the rest of the brand of cricket, apart from Joe Root, it just doesn't meet up to the standards.
Huge statement from Paji, and England will now obviously go down and sit on the drawing board to rethink their strategy and replan things. But VK, last question that Paji mentioned about the pitches. So don't you think that a universal pitch standard should be set by ICC, not only for India, but for whole of the world?
See, obviously, if the Test matches going to get over in 2 days, 3 days, most of the time, then people will start questioning about the pitches. But what I see that, as we discussed earlier also, that skills are also getting down. But skills are also getting down. And suppose we always say that when Indian team is traveling abroad and they are greeted with the green pitches. But nowadays, if Indian teams are going abroad and opposition are also thinking twice before giving a green top, because the kind of bowling attack India have, even India got a very good pace attack. They are well equipped. So same way as Paji mentioned, England were not well equipped for this particular Test series. If you see, they don't have that quality spinners to bowl on this pitches. Leach got wickets just because of the wicket were helping to the spinners. Otherwise, if Leach is bowling on a flat deck, he maybe find difficult to get this much this numbers of wickets to his tally. But whereas if Indian spinners will be bowling on a flat wicket, they will definitely going to earn wickets because they have better skill of bowling. Same wise, the batsmen have a better skill of dealing with the green pitches nowadays as compared to the some 10-15 years back when the Indian team used to go abroad and facing problem of green pitches. And maybe somewhere it is like because a lot of players are coming from IPL and they have that aggressive nature. So sometimes when they are facing themselves trouble with bouncers or some swing, so they start playing little aggressive cricket and try to make runs, and some which really help them. And sometimes it can go other way also, like we saw in Adelaide Test match, but that was the one incident only. Otherwise, Indian team is well equipped, well balanced for both sort of condition, whether they are playing home or whether they are playing away. So somewhere I feel that it's not about the English team, but all over the world, that skill of dealing with the spin pitches are getting down just because of a lot of shots being played, and that amount of defensive technique is going away from the batsman. And so this question will always coming from people, whether this pitch is right or whether this pitch is not right. But somewhere I feel, yes, we all really want that test match should go at least for 4 to 5 days. I always bet test matches for 5 days, so it should go for 5 days. I mean, if a test match is getting over in 2 or 3 days, definitely it's not a good thing for cricket. It may be a winning team will always feel happy to get over with the test match as soon as possible. But yes, like we in Australia, the results were coming in almost in every test match, but it was going for a last, apart from that Adelaide Test match. Even that Sydney went for the draw. The last Test match came result at a very in a last session only. So we really look, as Paji mentioned, like for the final also, we really want a wicket, and we really want a cricket which should go till last. And obviously, it's going to be a neutral venue, so the wicket will be a neutral, and it's nothing with no one will question on that sort of wicket, because both team will be playing on a neutral venue. But for test cricket, and ultimately test cricket is what you can say is like the
real test,
mainstay of the cricket is test cricket. So yes, so it is very important test cricket to go last till the last day, and it's very important. So definitely pitch, we need to have some better pitches. And as Paji mentioned, that Indian bowling is such good enough right now that even if they play on a flat deck, still they will able to win a test match, and that is very well said by him.
Yeah. So Paji, do you also think that if there were a Monty Panesar or a Nathan Lyon or a Graham Swan in place of Jack Leach or Dom Bess, India would have also thought twice before serving these turning tracks?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know, obviously, I've played a bit of Test cricket, and on helpful pitches, I sort of know how to get a team out and put a team into a match-winning situation. Yeah, if I was playing, absolutely, India would have not even produced a turning pitch. They would have gone with flat pitches. They would have said, Monty's a big threat. He's a big threat on Indian surfaces. An ounce of turn, he pounces on it and he will get us out. And we're going to produce flat pitches. Now, with Jack Leach, they know that, you'll get out. This is a good ball, great. But you can see, even today, he didn't bowl very well. He didn't have the same energy or the fizz or whatever. He's getting tired now, and he's probably thinking, it's getting a bit tough for him. And I'm sorry, but Test cricket is about when the going gets tough, you got to be tough on yourself. He needs this. It is tough. It's hard, but you got to fight it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. If I was playing, we would have had flat pitches, and we would have seen a lot of high scores. But I think India knew that actually the weakest link is England's top order, and also the spinners, because they know that even if they bowl us out cheaply under, let's say, 300. We'll probably bowl out England for under 100, 150. So it's still game on. It's because the top order just wasn't strong enough.
Yeah. Top order was really fragile, and as you mentioned about English spinners. One more thing we saw, that was intent, the difference of intent of both the teams. Today, what we saw when Washington Sundar and Akshar Patel were playing, England's shoulders were drooping, and they actually gave it up on the batsmen that when they'll make a mistake, they'll get out. So the lack of intent approach, or the difference of approaches from Indian team and the English team.
Well, this is the whole point of the brand and the style of cricket I'm talking about. Now, India could have drooped their shoulders in Sydney when they had to draw that test match, right? Brisbane, they could have said, oh, we're not going to win this. We never won this in 32 years. We've got a B team. No, you do not do that. We are going to win a game on any situation. So why can't England do that? Yeah, it's tough. Come on, guys. Battle this out. Let's not just give up on this situation. And, I think it comes down to the faith and Joe Root. I don't think he has 100% faith in these spinners. He bought himself on with the new ball in the second, that second new ball. He should have given it to maybe Jack Leach or Don Best straight away. But he just thinks, I just don't think these guys are going to get me wickets, and he goes, I'll do that. So I think there's obviously something to do with, the mindset, the attitude of it, but it's in India, In India, I think this England team is not good. The funny thing of, Test cricket is same thing that happened, with India when they were New Zealand. Yep, they're not great there. But when you go back your own home serves, you're great. These players, when they go back in England, they'll score runs, they'll take the wickets, and suddenly you're saying, wow, yeah, what's wrong with us? There's nothing wrong with you guys. You're good players in England. That's all it is. It's just in India, you just don't have the skill set. So, it's nothing. It's not too ponderous to worry about. But I think what this England team should look to do is think, what can we do to change the coaching methods? So in the domestic system, we find better players of spin. Guys can play spin, better. Or are there enough quality spinners coming through? Should I make a comeback in cricket? Should I just make a comeback in cricket, actually, so the quality of players who play spin become better? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should help out the ECB. I think, right, I'm making a comeback in cricket because I think I can. Yeah, and then next tour, next tour we win because I'm playing.
we could actually see Paji in the next tour if he plans to make a comeback, and we'll definitely hope that Paji makes a comeback. We'll see some tough fight in the series. So now just mark the dates between June 18 and June 22 for the big final, the mighty final of the World Test Championships, so which we were all waiting for with bated breath, and it will be India against New Zealand in the final. So wait for the finals. Tune in between June 18 and June 22, and let's hope that it's a riveting one. So before that, yes, obviously Arjun Verma is saying, yeah, super fan of you, Paji, and he's definitely awaiting your comeback. You can play IPL, he's suggesting. So let's wait for the World Test Championships final, and we'll meet soon when the limited over series starts with the pre-series show for the limited over series. Till then, goodbye and take care. Thanks a lot, Paji, for joining in. Thanks a lot, VK.
Thank you.
Thank
See you all.